Hi everyone, I got tagged the other week by Autumn of Palinor to do the bookshelf book tag. Now, some of these questions are familiar to me because I've done them about a year ago when I used to film over there in front of my tall bookcase. So I was quite happy to do this tag because it was slightly different, and it's also been about a year since I did the last bookshelf tag. So here we go. Question 1, how many bookshelves do I have? Okay, this was fun because I actually started going around counting the books on the shelves for another question. And I had 10 different numbers. So that was 10 shelves I counted, and I missed one. So it was 11 bookshelves stroke bookcases. But that doesn't count everywhere where I keep my books. So I have 11 bookshelves / bookcases in the house that are for me and my husband. Question 2, how many books are on my bookshelves? It's the fun one. I have not counted the books in both my boys' bedrooms, nor the books that are on the bookcase in the loft. So this is just the books that are mine, my husband's, and a lot of those I've read, around the house. 2,131 books. It's not as high as we thought it was, but it's slightly worrying. Question 3. How do I organise my bookcases? As you can see behind me, I tend to organise in sets. Here. And I'll show you on other bookshelves later on. But I tend to organise my books by the same author, the same set or series of books by that author, and they just sit together. There is no specific organisation in this house. I have fantasy, sci-fi, romance, contemporary and horror all mixed up together all over the place. The beauty is I know where my books are. It's slightly frustrating when I decide to swap books around on the shelf and I suddenly go, hold on, where have I put that? But most of the time I can find exactly the book I'm looking for first time on the shelf. But I don't have any special sequence, or I don't do rainbow organising because that just does to my brain, because no. Books by the same author in the same series should be together at all times. So please, rainbow organisation, no, not my thing. Just so not my thing. Yes, it looks pretty, but no, not my thing. But we do have a little problem in that I like my books organised from highest down to lowest. Even if that's not the right order for the series. But my husband has to have the books in the right order, so our books will suddenly go along like that, as long as they're in the right chronological order for the series, which can be a little bit frustrating when you've got a big book in amongst a whole pile of little ones. Question 4 is, what is the oldest book on your shelves? I think it's this one. This is A Study in Scarlet by Arthur Conan Doyle. My dad actually got me this copy. It has the interesting edge pages. There we go. And it's cost me £4, this one. It actually doesn't have a publication date in it. This is what it's like on the inside. There we go. I have no information about when this book was published. I'd have to go and look it up. So that's the oldest book I have on my shelf. It's also, again, nice little hardback. I do like my little hardbacks, as you know. Question 5. What is the newest book on my shelves? Children of Blood and Bone and Skullduggery Pleasant, Resurrection by Derek Landy. Question 6. Which is the largest book on my shelves? I would probably say it's either going to be my collected Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien, or a Diana Gabaldon. Yeah, 1,412 pages. That stands a good chance of being it. But certainly an Outlander or Lord of the Rings. Which is the shortest book on the shelves? It's this one. This is the Poems from the Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. Oh, it's another little hardback book. I'm a sucker for these. But it has all the poems that occur throughout the main books of Lord of the Rings. And they're all beautifully illustrated by Alan Lee. There we go. Question 8. What is my predominant genre? I've had a good think about this, and I'm going to go for the fantasy / sci-fi. I hate putting the two together because they are two separate genres, but that's probably the genres I would pick as the main ones. I would say we've probably got more fantasy than sci-fi. Certainly an awful lot of my YA books are fantasy based, which I think tips the scale. But yeah, predominantly fantasy in the house. Question 9. Have you done a bookshelf tour? Yes, I have. If I can find the link to the video, I'll leave it down below. But I think I've changed the bookcases since I've done it, so you might see something different behind me. Question 10. Find the book that matches with a random number from a random number generator and talk about it. Okay, because obviously I've got over 2,000 books around the house, I thought, okay, I'll just stick with the bookcase behind me. Now, the bookcase behind me has 289 books on it. So I said to my husband, I need a random number between 1 and 289. He goes, you can do that on Excel. It's equals rand between open brackets 1, comma, and then the number you want to finish off, close brackets, hit enter, and it gives you a random number. Very, very cool. So my random number is 157. I'll be back in a minute. I found it. Book 157 on my shelves is The Many-Coloured Land by Julian May, which is book 1 in the Saga of the Exile series, part of her Galactic Milieu collection of books. I read this last summer because I've been looking at it for quite some time on my husband's shelves at his parents' house. He's got the old publication by Pan Books, so it's all a big illustration cover, where I've got a nice new imprint because his version is starting to fall apart. This follows a group of misfits, really, who don't fit in with where the human race has got to in the far future. For various reasons, and they're all very different reasons, they decide to escape into the Pliocene era and start afresh, go right back to basics and get away from this whole technological, telepathic world that they find themselves in the future. So they all escape to the past with these grand ideas of what they're going to go and do. Unfortunately, some aliens are there already, and things pretty much suck for the humans that end up going through the portal to the past, because the aliens have said, nope, we're taking over. They have introduced this whole talk system that will either enhance the humans' latent telepathic powers, or will enable the human to be easily controlled. There's another race as well of aliens that have come along with them, so there's this whole inter-war thing as well going on. The whole fact you're in the Pliocene era, the fact that these characters that we follow that have gone through the gate are really unusual and devious, and there's also some loyal ones, and there's some really generous people in there, and they've all got their own agendas going on. And I really enjoyed this book. I don't know why more people don't talk about this series. It should have the same sort of status, I think, as Wheel of Time and Game of Thrones series, because it is that big, epic, sprawling series with politics, intrigue, mystery, murder, sex, all going on. And it talks about lots of issues as well, like ethnic cleansing and slavery and prejudice. It's all in there. So I really enjoyed this book, and if you're kind of like, oh, I'm not sure, I've heard it, you know, I've heard it's all about Christianity and it pushes that. I didn't see that at all, and I'm a Christian, so I would kind of know what to look out for. It's, as far as I'm concerned, it's a good sci-fi drama series that covers so much. And if you can cope with multiple points of view and more than one plot line going on in a story, this is a series worth picking up. I'm currently working my way through book 2 and loving it, because we're now following another group of characters that we didn't follow all the way through in this book. And I just find it so enjoyable and really interesting. And I've actually got to the point where I'm so cross about what's going on, and I just want to go in there and fix it. So I'm really loving the series, and I can't praise it enough. I know that sounds really like, oh, she's gushing about it, but seriously, if you like sci-fi and you like multiple character viewpoints and you like books that make you question things, give this a go, please, because it's so good. That was question 10. Question 11. Any fandom or literature decorations goodies on the bookshelves? I don't know if you can see behind me, but I might do this bit by hand, so bear with me. Again, I'm only going to show you the bookcase behind me because otherwise we're going to be here forever. So here we go. Okay, so up on the top of my bookcase, I have my Sherlock teddy bear. This came from the Sherlock Holmes Museum on Baker Street. We come down a little bit, and there's a photo of me and my husband, but we'll ignore that. Here we have my TBR jar, Yakko, Tiana, BB-8, and Ray. And behind I have my Marvin the Martian mug. Here is my, you probably can't see that there, Fairy Loot mug, which hold a collection of bookmarks in. Coming along on the top of the shelf, oh sorry, going along my knees, I have Sebastian. There we go. Box of tissues, because you can never have too many tissues. I've got some CDs on here. Yes, that's quite popular at the moment. Oh, some of my husband's Star Wars figures. Another box of tissues. We're big on tissues. This is my Toby. This is from Hamleys on Regent Street. The first time I went. My Jeremy Fisher. Second time I went. And my little canine there. So if I come down. Now the bookcase on the landing is also for games. So this shelf has a collection of games that my husband owns. And then there's another one. And then down here are my lads' books. We have more games. We have a dice. I like dice. Story cubes. These are fun to play if you've never played them. And then on my shelves we've got, that's my husband's, I'm not quite sure what it is, but these are all magnetic. Ooh, if they let go. And yeah, as you can see, they've all got different letters on. So we like making words on that. There we go. There's my dragon. Down here I've got Sadness and my Sherlock Mind Palace mug. It's a tin cup with my Fairy Loot bookmarks in. Everything else is books on there. And then over here, next door to my cock art, I've got Basil and Dawson, who I just adore. So underrated, this film. Please go and watch Basil the Great Master Detective. I have a squishy ball. This is from Windermere. And inside are lots of aquatic creatures. And then finally we have my Stitch. This is Experiment 626 in a jar contained. Oh, and on the top here I've got a couple of pencil bags that we've got from Fairy Loot. They're currently living up there because I don't know where else to put them. And then of course I have my twinkly lights, which you can see here and here. There we go. So that's what's on this bookcase. How are we doing? Okay, question 12. It says, show me your bookshelves. This is going to be fun. Welcome to the bedroom. This is where I used to film. Some of you might recognise it. That's husband's Star Wars collection down there. Okay. That's hubby's personal bookcase. Lots of Aliens and Predator up there. Some of them I've read. They're pretty good actually. Here's his side of the bed. Books to be read. And then in the bookcase down here, which you can't really see very well because it is quite tiny down there, that is all his sci-fi books, and his reading pile is in there as well. But yeah, we have a bookcase just full of sci-fi. Kind of cool. Yes, this is a wardrobe. We have books in our wardrobe. Yeah. Oh, those are my faith-based books up there. And then this is my side of the bed. So that's to my to read pile. well, one of them anyway. There's my comics pile. I have various books down the side of the bed. Here's graphic novels. That's the other side. There are my Poe Dameron comics. More graphic novels. And even in the cupboard, I have some Doctor Who's, and all my Sherlock Holmes audios are in there as well. Right, this is the predominantly boys bookcase outside the bathroom. So Alex Rider, Maze Runners, various other books. Then you have a Star Wars pile. Muddle Earth, I highly recommend people. Another Star Wars pile. And then the bottom shelf, the Thursday Fairies series is fantastic. Please read it. Some Wimpy Kid, yeah, my lads aren't really into them at the moment. And How to Outsmart a Billion Robot Bees is very entertaining. Bookcase at the top of the stairs. We have a whole pile of choose your own adventure kind of books. They're puzzle books. They're very enjoyable. Some CDs. Some Simpsons random books. Let me come down a bit. This is my Raymond D. Fife shelf that my friend Alison lent me. I must get around to reading these. Some Peanuts. And then my Buffy the Vampire Slayer shelf, which continues a little bit down to the bottom. There is all my Disney books. And some Lego just to fill the gap. Now I'm going downstairs. Right, I'm now downstairs. This is the Asterix and Tintin shelf. As you can see, they're well read. And then if I pan straight up, this is the shelf that runs across the top of the lounge dining room join. I'm going backwards on it, but you get the idea. Quantum Leaps, Discworld, some C.S. Lewis up there. We come down, here's the Left Behind series, not bad. It's my Overflow Doctor Who series. And then I come onto the dresser, and some more Doctor Who books. Or my Fairy Loot candles. I must burn some more. And then if I come down here, past the flowers, here is my Anna Green Gables collection. And some Jane Welch books as well. I didn't have anywhere else to put them. In the dining room we have the Agatha Christie collection, which becomes Torchwood, and then into Doctor Who. Finally, this cupboard is all film and TV tie-in books. There's all sorts in here, but if it's been a film or a TV tie-in, or my husband's Tom Sharp books, it's in here. This is double layered. Here is another shelf. I can't remember how many books are in here. I think there's nearly 200 books in here. This is my Doctor Who cupboard. These are 3 deep. But these are all the BBC before the series came back. And at the front here we have the Virgin publications. These are the past Doctor stories. And then at the very bottom down here, I don't know if you can see, it's behind all my sewing stuff, is a cupboard with all sorts of books in. There's all sorts in there. I'm really not quite sure what's in there. But that's hidden away down behind my craft. So here we are, back in front of the normal bookcase. And you've seen all my bookcases and where the books are stored around the house. I've actually forgotten to do the books that are sat in the room at the end there, but never mind, you don't need to see that pickle. So the final question on the bookshelf book tag is tag some people. So I'd like to tag Paul Reeds, please. I'd like you to do this tag. And Stacey Taylor, I'm tagging you as well. If you've already done it, don't worry, just leave a link somewhere on the comments down below. Let me know it. I might have even watched already, I can't actually remember. But there we are. So thank you very much for that long trawl through my bookcases and the stuff I have and how many books I have, which is mildly worrying. If you want to know more about me, links are in the description box down below. I am found on social media, Goodreads, Twitter and Instagram. I also have a book blog which I try and keep updated fairly frequently, so reviews and general gossip and thoughts are on there as well. As always, thank you very much for watching and happy reading. Bye.